And we're live.
Yeah. Kyle's like, as soon as they can buy alcohol legally, meh. Now what do they need me for? Yeah. Kyle's just hanging out in front of a 7-Eleven, like doing his own "Hey Mister" thing. Do you guys know what "Hey Mister" is?
Yeah. It's where you find adult to buy you liquor or beer.
Where like you wait for a homeless guy or something, you go, "Hey Mister," and hope that it's a skeevy enough guy to buy you alcohol.
Yeah, we were joking about that in the hangout the other day, how it's kind of bizarre that like an 18-year-old girl can drink my semen, but not my alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I don't have a problem with it.
Do the military equivalent too, right? You can go die for your country, but you can't have a beer, really?
Well, if they're dying for their country, I believe they can drink. If they can buy beer at the commissary, and if they're in the military, so an 18-year-old who's in the military can buy alcohol.
Is that restricted to the base or something though? Like they can't like go to a bar like downtown and like have a beer.
No, definitely.
No. But I think they can buy it at the commissary, where it's duty free anyway, which is where you would buy your beer, right? And I'm pretty sure about that. I'm not positive, but I think that's the deal. But yeah, that's fucked as well. That you could go and literally die for your country, and so many have, but they can't buy.
Yeah, it seems weird.
I think a good drinking age would be lowering it to 19.
But I feel like
the reason being not 18 is that would turn every high school just bananas overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because suddenly every senior can buy liquor for everyone there. Whereas in 19, it would be a little more control.
Wouldn't that make a couple, like, underperforming seniors very powerful?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, suddenly everyone's on, loser Steve's team. Because he's got the ID for it. Like, 19 seems like a good number.
No, honestly, I think they should raise it to 25. Alcohol is
25.
Alcohol is a training thing. Like, again, it's you getting used to your body and how you react to stimuli. In this case, alcohol and the drug of alcohol, right? So, like, training for that is kind of important. Like, if you want to do fucking stupid shit and get and how do I say this? You don't want to end up doing really stupid shit. And a lot of people end up doing really stupid shit because they go from nothing to having access to it and with no experience along the way. Like no training, no having had a couple beers at home, or no having had a couple glasses of wine or something like that. And it's a totally different body experience.
You could go the other way, right? Isn't it like 15 in Europe? Am I making this up?
And it's like 14 in Italy or some shit.
I think Germany's 15. I'm not positive. And there they just don't place the same taboo and sense of like, there's no aura around alcohol because they always had it.
See, and like I totally agree with what Filthy said, that it is a learning experience. But at the same time, like our culture isn't going to get reversed on that. Like you go to Italy or something, and it's like, yeah, I've been having glasses of wine with dinner with my family, drinking reasonably, maybe a glass or two with dinner since I was 15. And then they turn 21 or whatever, and they continue doing that and whatever. Like they're fine. Whereas in the U.S., even if you change it to 18 right now, people wouldn't start going, oh, I'll have a beer with dinner. I'll have a couple beers. They would immediately go balls to the wall because that's what U.S. culture is. It's like alcohol has been seen as this last little bastion of adulthood so that when people get there, they don't build up the way Filthy was talking about. They go bananas and get shitty. I just don't think we could reverse that cultural trend, especially given like you can even see on like internet forums, people in Europe apparently are like, oh, you really have rager parties with those red Solo cups where everybody gets shithoused at like the age of 21. It's like, yeah, that happens all the time here because that's the culture of it.
Culture
like
would
once
change
you're 21,
in 10 years though, right? Like 10-year-olds knowing that 8 years from now they'd be able to drink, it would just resolve itself, right?
That's how I feel. I suspect that.
It might. I just don't think that pop culture would resolve itself. Like, it's not like movies and TV shows would suddenly stop depicting alcohol use that way and normalizing it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but it does sound like a fairly surmountable problem, right? Like you're like, yeah, it wouldn't change overnight, agreed. But it does feel like that could be something that could be tackled, right? So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's the same with like
18, 16?
Age? I don't know. I think... And I don't know what the laws are like for this now. Like, what are the laws about consumption at home? Like, are you allowed to consume as a minor if you're like in the care of your parents, or is that like
in
your
some
parents
states?
Can
be... Yeah, like in Louisiana, you can drink. I think at most ages, as long as your parents are with you and approving.
Yeah, so like something like that seems like a fairly surprisingly. It feels like a Louisiana joke in there somewhere, but
you got like a lush of a mom who's just getting you wasted, fucking your friends. Like, yeah, that's a good way to.
Where's the line between child abuse, like your 2-year-old daughter, like you get her drunk every night so she shuts up, versus like you're starting the training process? Is that like 3? Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta build up her dependence, right? Like, you know, you want to be able to have some control over this kid. That way, if he gets in trouble, you take the liquor away. She starts getting the shakes.
Yeah,
They used
when I
to
was like
give
12 in Mexico on a family vacation, like a table next to us, like we left the resort area and went into fucking real Mexico one of the nights and went to one of the restaurants where it was very difficult to order, and there's a table next to us, and even at the age of like 11 or 12, I was like, that girl is noticeably younger than me, and the beer in front of her is the size of my head. Like, and that
Damn.
was like a man. This is not. This is maybe a little ridiculous. Like a 10-year-old getting
She's
slopped.
got a straw.
Yeah,
They used to
cleaner
give
than the water
TV
there.
babies
Lift it.
whiskey like on their gums and stuff to help with the pain.
Yeah.
I guess I'm okay with that to some degree.
I think it was bad for them.
Oh, then then you get evidence-based stuff, and then you go, well, evidence-based says, yeah.
Oh, fucker.
I don't know.
Think of how
Again,
dope medicine
it's like-
was way back in the day when they were just like, try old-time Reds, heroin drops. They'll get you to sleep. No time flat. Yeah, it's just like that would be great.
Did
You just walk
Coca-Cola
around-
really have
conversation
cocaine
with,
in
like,
it? Is that a wives' tale or a real thing?
No, that's real. That's my conspiracy for the night. It's not.
What was the question?
Did Coca-Cola actually have cocaine in it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It
It
started,
did.
you know, all of the sodas, like the big sodas, began as like these health tonics,
Mm-hmm.
and many of them had bizarre ingredients and they supposedly cured like a vast
Sugar
array.
and Coke. What's healthier?
Yeah, well, Dr. Pepper's name makes way more sense now.
No, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Nope. But like, I mean, it becomes a relevant conversation again, in part because of like legalization of marijuana, right? Like, how and when should that be allowed, and how should that be? I mean, if this is again a legal way that for now a portion of the country, a legal way for people to experience another type of high. This is another type of body high, different one from needles in the chest or suspensions or alcohol or whatever it happens to be. How do you go about setting that up in a way that is sane? Like that allows people to adjust to it and not abuse it, but also to experience it.
I'm not as worried about kids getting way too into pot and causing a nuisance or hurting themselves as I am with alcohol. You know, like it's just two different substances that lend themselves to different behavior. Like an 18-year-old who smokes way too much pot probably isn't going to be going out on the town causing, problems or endangering someone's life.
Just look at the
whereas
problems that
will.
alcohol causes, and marijuana does none of those. Like whether you're talking about a girl losing her inhibitions and getting taken advantage of, that won't happen. Or you're talking about a kid getting in a car and hurting someone with that vehicle, that won't happen. Or you're talking about someone getting violent, because different people react in so many different ways to alcohol. Some people are, become a big teddy bear, and some people become a literal monster that they didn't even know existed inside of themselves. Also doesn't happen.
So
but
the
I want to
inhibitions
offer
thing is not a marijuana side. Like this, I'm out of my depth here, but
No, so
Yeah,
one
like,
thing
see,
I've heard
that's-
about it is that's the opposite. Like alcohol makes you think that you can, I don't remember where I heard it, but alcohol makes you think that you can do things that you can't. And weed makes you think that you can't do things that you totally can. So like a high person will be like, should I walk across the street to CVS and get a Arizona iced tea? No, they're going to know. They're going to know for sure. And a drunk person will be like, can I drive across town to get a burger? Well, I'm not going to not do that. And then they'll do it.
My wife's
and
body
nobody's getting
chemistry is
fucked
like,
because they smoke too much weed. Like there aren't any girls like, yeah, I just smoked too much weed last night and I blew everyone. That's not happening. That's not happening.
well, my wife's not in response to that, non sequitur here, right? Like a little
Yeah,
bit,
keep going.
My wife's body chemistry is so fucking weird with like substances. Like she gets it like her mother's side from this. Her mother can't have more than about 2 glasses of wine, and then she'll be physically sick and throwing up. And my wife responds very strangely to alcohol and very strangely to marijuana. Like that just fucking and it's the THC in that because
what does marijuana do to her?
It makes her extremely, extremely socially paranoid for even a very small amount. And like, she's suddenly like in tears because she's not sure if it's okay to like open a cabinet style stuff. Like it just like, it's a response that is
That's
so,
terrible.
That's
she
not
hates
even
it.
remotely fun.
Hates, no, exactly. It's like for her, like that was like a tried it when she was young style stuff. Doesn't want to do it again because that's the type of response she's had. Except that then her sister's out in Colorado. So she's been out to visit her. And then she went into a store, and her sister's a big fucking pothead as far as I can tell. And they basically were like, would you like, that sounds like a response to the THC. Would you like to try a low THC and a high, what is it, CBC? What's the other one?
CBD.
CBD, right. And a high CBD one, which she tried. And for her, that was super mellow, super just body high of like a light experience, totally different. So like, but again, for me, this comes back to how would she, like, imagine she just tried that for the first time out socially somewhere, right? As like a kid, as like 17 or 18, has access to it, tried it. And like for her, it was so fucking debilitating and so like, it reduces her to like a child almost. So she's in tears, like scared of everything, like super like, you know, that too would be a horrible fucking experience. So like having some physical training for that ahead of time, having experienced that to understand how your body's responding to these things becomes relevant. So I don't know.